Good morning. Tracy again from LiveSmart Foundational Development. I just want to say hi. I haven't been around for a little while, life's challenges and all. But today I wanted to talk about blurring the lines. Blurring the lines, I think, is a huge misunderstanding within arguments, fights, discussions, conflict management within families, within work, in any area that there's actually conflict management. And I wanted to just say that I learned this lesson in arguments with my mother, in fact, in that if you got into an argument over, it can be as simple as the dishes, all right? How we wash the dishes, how you pack the dishes in the drying tray, how you dry them and pack them into the cupboards. And it will be a simple argument that goes over something like that. You're not doing it right, and you're not allowed to do it the way you want to do it. And then suddenly everything from the past and everything that I've done, everything for you, and all these type arguments come out. And I did this for you, and now you're just so unappreciative and ungrateful and disrespectful. That's called blurring the lines. The issue at hand was the dishes. And the dishes in itself is another issue that I've actually got, and not the dishes itself, but the way we do things in a home or in the office or at your desk, or how you speak on the telephone. You know, you've got your own style of being, and that is okay. You know, each and every person walking this earth has their own personality, their own way of how they like to do things. Yes, you have to learn the basics and the fundamentals of what you're doing. Like, for example, washing dishes, you've got to wash the dishes properly. But how you wash them, the end result is that the dishes are washed, they've been packed, they've been dried, they've been packed away. So it comes back to being the control freak, the overconfident, the one in a hurry. If you're not washing the dishes, yes, you need to be called back to please wash the dishes properly, or finish the document at work, fill in the document correctly. But how you do it and how you get to the end result is ultimately yours to achieve as an individual being. So I used to run my swim school, and when I had swimming teachers, I had a lesson plan, and I did recognize that everybody had their own styles. Having been an individual myself who wants to do things my way, I have what I want to give out and put out and pay forward in the world. And it frustrates me incredibly when there are other people that saying, no, this is how you have to do it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. If it's not done that way, then it isn't correct. And I disagree with that entirely, completely. Because I have my own way. I am intelligent. I have a way of doing things. The end result is the actual, what needs to happen. And how you get there, really, you need to be able to put your own style in. So, having said that about blurring the lines, is that within arguments, I kind of digressed a little bit there. So, within arguments of having your own way of doing things, you can and you do have a right to say, please, let me do it in my way, where I have control how I achieve what we actually needing to get to. And this is where the argument ends, in what we are discussing right now. And this is where LiveSmart Foundational Development wants to help people achieving communication with others, in not blurring the lines, in keeping each topic at hand dealt with in the moment, as opposed to bottling things up, keeping information to yourself. You're too scared to speak because you're going to get shouted at. That person's going to be a bit stronger in how they come back at you about their argument about how you're doing a task, taking part in an activity. And, each person has a voice. Everybody has a voice, and you are entitled to use it. We have entitlements in many areas of our lives. And some people take entitlement where they shouldn't be taking entitlement. And that's another thing that we need to discuss and work on and, where you're allowed to say, no, it's not your right now. You have a voice. You are allowed to speak. How it is said is very, very important. How it is conducted, how you communicate and acknowledge how other people around you are carrying themselves out. There's a lot that needs to be considered in a conversation. It's not just what you want to say, your boundaries. They have boundaries too. And it's kind of a bit of a give and a take. And this is where the push and the pull in a conversation, I believe, needs to be guided, and we need to grow conversation again. I believe people have fallen out of knowing how to communicate, converse, share, and communicate their messages across. And in blurring the lines, a lot becomes misconstrued. And, what happened 2 days ago in another scenario, how somebody gifted you something, how somebody has helped you, has got nothing to do with the arguments at hand that is happening. And I think people need to bring other people to task on that and actually say, but we're not discussing that right now. Some people are very good at saying, okay, this is where it ends, this is what's happened, I've said my say, and that's where it goes. I'm not going down that path now. But I think blurring the lines is something that people need to focus on, be aware of, that what happened days ago that did not get resolved needs to be brought back to task if it still needs to be dealt with. But it needs to be a separate scenario. So without boxing everything in, because that has its own consequences, boxing things in it's a dangerous thing to happen, boxing people in, but you need to still separate the scenarios. That happened 2 days ago or 6 months ago or years ago. If it hasn't been dealt with, let's sit down, debrief, and work out where are we going with, what are you wanting as a result from that time. This scenario, let's sort this one out and keep this one to this argument. So blurring lines can be very, very dangerous, and it just keeps a lot of people say a lot of water under the bridge. They try and hold the water under the bridge when it actually flows and it goes and it's come and it's gone and it's unresolvable, but some people still like to hold on to it. So there's the overlap, as you can tell, is that there's lots that gets held onto that you should have let go of, and you need to let go of. But sometimes you can't let go of because you don't know what the hook is. Why have you still got a hook in the energy of what happened? Why is it still bothering you so much? What are you holding on to, and what result are you actually wanting or expecting? Because the expectation is possibly another discussion I should have. Is what is your expectation? Is it meeting the other person's expectation? Another one that can blur lines. So be very, very cautious of blurring lines in communication, and arguments and discussions with other people. And I'd love to actually help anybody out there that is interested in learning how to actually deal with those kinds of arguments, conflict. And let's see how we can manage it and find a different way forward with forward thinking, new thinking. Stop the old thinking from 1920, 40, 50, 60, 70, 2000 and last year. We're going now forward with new thinking. Forward thinking into a different way of being, a different way of operating, and with more love at hand, with more softer understanding of everybody around, acknowledgement and all, so that we can stop blurring lines and clear the way forward to see clearly. Okay, Live Smart Foundational Development, my own business, and I keep getting the name confused. Please do contact me at livesmartfd@gmail.com. Send me your scenarios, and I can send you a video back. We'll communicate via video, or if we can arrange in-person communication, I'm happy to do one-on-one counseling. Well, counseling, discussions, talks, chats, communication to try and help move forward. All right, so email me livesmartfd@gmail.com, and let's work one-on-one, person to person, group to group, community to community, and who knows where Live Smart Foundational Development can take us.